I hope I'm tall enough that you can see me. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of God, the most merciful, the most beneficent. First of all, I would like to say thank you to the government of Trinidad and Tobago for giving me this great opportunity to come here and to see you all. Thank you to Honorable Prime Minister. I had a very nice meeting with her. Thank you to the President, to the Acting President, to the University of Trinidad and Tobago, and I congratulate the university on its 10th anniversary. And I'd also like to say thank you, a big, big thank you for announcing the scholarships for those girls who are in the developing countries and who have no access to education and who need support. So this will help those girls to continue their education and get quality education in good university here in Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you so much for that. I would also like to say thank you to Honorable Senator Fazil Karim, who is the Minister of Tertiary Education, for such a warm welcome and for inviting me to Trinidad and Tobago. And I'm very happy here because it was a great experience for me. And I have learned a lot. And a question appears. It might be the question of people, but it's a question from my side as well to myself, that why am I here? Why am I here? Why have I come to this country? Because people would say that there is like about 99% of education, which is great, and which is what I want to see in every country, which is like I want to see 100% education in each country. But if there is this education, then why am I here? I can explain it in two ways. The first thing is that, well, I was invited. Then the second is that here I'm going to give something and I'm going to take something. There are two reasons. I'm going to give something to this country, which is to share my story, to tell children here how important it is for them to continue their education, to focus on it, to make their country proud. And the second one is to take something. And the thing which I take is an example to tell the world that this is a country. Here, education is free, from primary level to secondary and then to tertiary, and children are even supported in the university level. So this is an example to world, it is an example to every country that they should learn from this country where education is free and where every child has access to school. So thank you so much. It was the 12th of July, 1997, that a second daughter was born in a family. The first daughter died, and when the mother heard that a second daughter is born, she was really sad, even though the father was happy. She was really sad because she wanted a son. And this girl who was born was me. My mother was waiting for a son, and when I was born, people were coming into our house, not to congratulate my mother, but to share her sadness and to say that don't lose hope because next time a son would come. And now my mother really supports me, but at that time she was really praying for a son. She did not want a third daughter, and a son was born then later on. And my father was proud of me. My father was not discriminating me. He loved me and he was proud of me. He always encouraged me to believe in myself. And as he say, I did not clip her wings and let her fly. He always tell people that don't ask me what I did for Malala, but ask me what I didn't do. And that was that I didn't clip her wings. So I'm very thankful to my father for accepting me as a child, as his daughter, and giving me equal rights as my brothers have, which they complain are more than theirs, but that's fine. I think they are equal. I was going to school and was working hard in my studies, carrying a heavy bag, and was doing my homework and trying to get the top position in the class, but was not realizing why is it important to go to school? Why am I going to school? What's the reason? How is it going to help me in my future? But then circumstances changed. In 2007, the Taliban entered our beautiful Swat Valley. Swat Valley, which is in the north of Pakistan, is famous for its beauty. And tourists used to go there from all over the world. But it was no more a place of tourism, but rather it became a place of terrorism. More than 400 schools were blasted at that time. Girls had no access to school. Girls' education was totally banned by the Taliban, who was the militant, who was the terrorist group at that time, who invaded our valley. And they were misusing the name of Islam at that time. They were saying that education is not allowed in Islam, which was totally wrong, because in Islam, education is allowed for every boy and every girl. And the word Islam means peace. The word Islam does not mean any kind of fight. But these people did not know it. They did not even know that the first word that was revealed on Prophet, peace be upon him, was Iqra. And Iqra means read. So Islam is about getting knowledge. Islam is about being patient, being tolerant, being just, and being kind to each other. It's about loving each other. But they did not know it. All they knew was bomb blasts, slaughtering people, flogging women, blasting schools, and killing people. This was all they knew. At that time, I could not go to school, and I had only two options. The first one was to remain silent, not to speak, and wait to be killed one day in a bomb blast, or just the Talib comes and kill you at night time. And the second option was to speak. To speak for my rights, and then be killed. And I chose the second one. I chose the second one, and I raised my voice. I wrote diaries for the BBC, appeared in interviews, and wrote articles, and tried to tell people from all over the world that this is happening in my valley. We are suffering through terrorism, and we are speaking up for our rights. Listen to us. At that time, I was not realizing that my voice would have any importance or not. But things changed. In 2009, there was a military operation. Peace was restored. The Taliban, they flew away. They ran out of the valley. We were going back to school. But what I discovered later on was that children were not going to school, not because of terrorism, but there were some other reasons as well. There was child labor, there was child trafficking, there was early child marriages and forced marriages. There was this discrimination towards women. And there was one woman who was working in our house, helping our family, and she had 3 daughters. And they were very little. And all her daughters were working in other people's houses to clean their dishes and pots and other things. But now those girls are getting education, and our family is helping them. And the Malala Fund has started a project in Pakistan, and through which they are going to school and they are no more working in other people's houses. So I was... Thank you. So I could see that there was a kind of discrimination in our society. And it was not only just like child marriage and those things, but even my brother, one day we were going to some place and I sat in the front seat of the car. And my little brother came and he said, like, go to the back seat. And I said, why? He said, no, like, you are a girl. And I said, like, what is the reason? A girl has the right to sit wherever she wants, and no one can stop her. If she wants to succeed, if she wants to join any field in her life, it is her right. But my brother, he did not know, and this was the influence of society on him. Because in his society, he could see no women driving, no women sitting in the front seat, no woman doing work outside, no woman on the roads going for a job. He could see women only working inside the houses and cooking, cleaning the house. So that was the concept. And I wanted a change. I wanted a change. I wanted to see myself, not just remaining inside the 4 walls of my houses and cleaning and cooking and those things. Those are good. But I also wanted to see myself as a woman, to have an identity and to be known, to be accepted with equal rights. I wanted to stand up for my rights as a girl, as a woman. I wanted to speak for education. I wanted to speak for the education of every child and to speak up for those children who are suffering from domestic child labor, for other kind of child labor, for early forced marriages. And that's why in my school, I and my friends, we gathered and we said that we are going to set up a foundation. We are going to work for it. And we wrote objectives and we said that we are going to build schools. And we had these big, big dreams. We were not like expecting it to come true, but we had big dreams and we were hopeful that one day we will see every child going to school. But then in 2012, the incident in which I was shot by a Talib, the Talib hit 3 bullets. 2 of them hit my other 2 friends and 1 bullet hit me. And at that time, I was in my school bus going back to my home after having my exam at school. But the journey was so long that it did not end, even though I was only 3 minutes away from my house. And now I'm here. I still haven't gone to my home. I still haven't gone to Pakistan. But I'm hopeful that one day I will go back there, inshallah. On that day, when I was shot, my weakness, fear, and hopelessness, that died. And a strength, courage, and power was born. On that day, I realized that God was supporting me. People were supporting me, and even death was supporting me. Death did not want to kill me, and death knew that I was right. So I'm sharing this story for a purpose. The purpose is to tell you that education is very important. You are living in this nice country with like 98 or 99% of education. You should continue your education. It's my message to every child here that you should continue your education, focus on it, be thankful for it. And let me tell you that there are many children, about 57 million children who are out of school now. And this is what I want to take away from this country, is my message, is to tell the world that this is an example country, and this is how every country should be. Because in Jordan, there are Syrian refugees, and when I went to Jordan, there was a camp called Zatari camp, and there were about 100,000 people, and among those 100,000 people were 60,000 children. And for those 60,000 children, there were only 3 schools. And there was one girl, Mozoon. I became friend with her, and she was really confident, committed, and she wanted to become a journalist and contribute to her society. But she does not have all the facilities that students in the developed countries have. She wants to become a journalist, but she's facing so many problems. And then I met another girl, Rema. I met Rema in a camp, and she also had big, big dreams. She's 13 years old, and she was sitting in a tent trying to get education. She was sitting with children who were only 6 or 7 years old, but it was her ambition to get education, and that's why she did not care at how old she is, but she wanted to continue her education. And then in Kenya, there are so many girls who are out of school. 1 out of 10 girls hardly gets the opportunity to go to the secondary school. And in this country, secondary education is totally free. So I think that you should be thankful for it, because if you look at Kenya, here their children are asking for their secondary education, for support in their even like at least completing their secondary schools. And these are the trips to Jordan, to Kenya, to Nigeria, which I'm doing through the Malala Fund, because I set up the Malala Fund to fulfill the dreams which I have and to see every child going to school. So through the Malala Fund, we have 2 objectives. The first one is to do advocacy, to raise awareness, to reach to the responsible people, to tell them to fulfill their responsibilities. And then the second one is to do work on the ground. So to do work on the ground, we build schools, we try to do teachers training, and we try to give facilities to the children, we try to give scholarships, So in Jordan, we started schools for those children who are now the Syrian refugees and who need our support. In Kenya, we also built a school. In Pakistan, we're also working on giving scholarships to those children who are suffering from domestic child labor, including the 3 girls who were working and who are suffering from domestic child labor. In Nigeria, when I went there, you all know about Nigeria as it is discussed in this event. There are about more than 200 girls who are abducted by Boko Haram, and they are still under the abduction of Boko Haram, and they really need our support at this time. That's why on my 17th birthday, I went to Nigeria and I spoke up for my sisters and I said that they should be released as soon as possible. And when I met the president, I asked him that he should definitely meet the parents of those girls who are abducted and as well as the girls who escaped from the abduction. So I have these trips to different places and I saw many problems that the children are facing there. Some of them don't have money, the parents cannot afford. In some countries, the education is not free from the primary level. In some countries, the parents do not even know how important education is. They don't realize. So problems are so many. And we want to solve those problems. We all want to work together to fight those problems. But I'm sharing it with you so that you can realize that how lucky you are, that you have education, you have schools, and you have other facilities, and you are getting free education. And this is the message that I'm taking from here. I want to tell the international community, to come together, to learn from this country, and to make sure that every child is getting quality and free education. I also use this platform. To speak for those women who are suffering from violence and inequality. There are women who are discriminated, who are not given equal opportunities in their lives. I'm here to speak up for them. They should be treated equally. I'm here to speak up for my sisters in Nigeria who are abducted by Boko Haram. We want them to be freed and we want them returning back to their homes, safe and alive. And I use this platform to speak for my brothers and sisters, those brothers and sisters who are now refugees. There are about 300,000 in Lebanon, only 300,000 children who are refugees, who are homeless now, who are living in tents, who do not have access to education. I use this platform to speak up for those. I use this platform to speak for the innocent civilians who are suffering in the conflict between Gaza and Israel. Every day you would hear that many children die, many innocent civilians die. What is their crime? What is the crime of that child who gets killed in a rocket fire? What is the crime of that child? What has he done? We do not want more children to be killed. We do not want more civilians and innocent people to be killed. I use this platform to speak up for my brothers and sisters and every innocent civilian in Gaza that this war should be ended. They should not be killed anymore. This war should be ended. And I ask the international community, the leaders, that why are they silent at this stage? Why are they silent? They need to stand up. They need to speak. And they need to find solution for all these conflicts, including the Gaza and Israel conflict. It seems like the world leaders are powerless or they don't want to do anything. I do not want to see these children and innocent people to be killed anymore. That's why we are here to stand up for peace. We are here to stand up for their rights to be saved and to be free to live. And we ask the international community to do something for it. I usually ask the international community and the world leaders, but I'll try my best from my side. And through the Malala Fund, we'll try to help every girl and every boy in getting their education in the countries like Pakistan, like Nigeria, like Syria. And I'm hopeful that one day we will achieve our dream. And we should not lose hope. We should not lose hope because 100 years ago, women could not even imagine themselves being allowed to vote. But now you can see that women can vote. Maybe like more than 50 years ago, Martin Luther King was calling that he had a dream. He was saying that I have a dream, and he wanted to see all people to be treated equally, not to be judged on their skin color, but to be judged on their character. And now you can see that in many countries, his dream has come true, and people are treated equally and are not judged on the basis of their skin color. Long ago, people were calling to end slavery, and now you can see that slavery has almost ended. Changes come through the passage of time. They come when people bring them. If you want to see change in our society, if you want to see peace, if you want to bring change throughout the world, then we have to take a step. And we have to speak up, and we have to raise our voices. So I'm hopeful that through this platform, I would be able to raise awareness. I would be able to tell children here in Trinidad and Tobago to continue their education, to respect their parents, and as well as to tell parents that they should support their children and try to listen to them, what's their view. I'm hopeful that it will contribute to the society, and it will also contribute to my campaign of seeing every child going to school. Thank you so much for giving me this honor to speak here. And I also want to say thank you to the University of Trinidad and Tobago for arranging all the events. Thank you so much.